So the Ring Fanatics podcast, episode 104. I am
Yes,
Nick, your
sir.
host. With me is my co-host Joel. Um, so different type of episode that we're doing today. Probably won't be as long as it would be. You know, also we had different plans coming into this week, especially before Tuesday. With the shocking and sad news of the passing of Jay Briscoe this past Tuesday night, we couldn't not talk about him and remember his life and career in wrestling. Um, just it was
Hundred percent.
just I don't even, I still can't wrap my head around it, and it's still a couple of days after his passing.
Came
Um,
out of nowhere. Like
yeah,
you
yeah,
texted me, and that's how I saw it. Cause I wasn't like scrolling through Twitter, Instagram at the time. I was just chilling, watching TV, and then you just sent me a text. You said Jay Briscoe. I was like, what?
yeah.
Like,
I mean, I saw Tony Khan tweet it out, and I'm like, this is random.
yeah,
Then I saw more, and then more details came out.
so wild.
Um, and I still couldn't believe it. Took me like a while. Like I said, I still
I
can't
I
wrap
didn't
my
believe it at first. I was like, what? Like as I was reading, I was like, this is not true. Like what? Like
yeah.
my brother thought I was doing that Instagram prank, the TikTok shit. He was like, "You
Oh
messing with me?"
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, "Nah, bro. Like,
It's actually
read
yeah,
it. Yeah, like read it for yourself. Like we just saw this man a month ago
yeah.
put on maybe match of the year.
One of the three top matches of the year.
Yes,
That's crazy.
it's ridiculous. Um, but it's so crazy. Like, didn't really notice he's been there since I've been watching wrestling. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I mean, like I wasn't, like, I wasn't really a fan of wrestling long as you have, but it's like it's crazy to know how long he's been doing this for. You know what
yeah.
I mean? So it's
Like I,
like
like I
I've
think I was.
seen
Yeah,
I've
keep
seen
going.
videos of him like way back in the day, like early 2000s, and I'm like, he looks a lot different, and I'm
Yeah,
like, that's how long. Like I wouldn't even recognize him if that
long
was.
career.
Yeah,
He was on the first Ring of Honor show.
yeah, that's
Like
even
I
crazy.
wasn't introduced to him till the late 2000s. I wasn't like day one guy.
Yeah, yeah,
When I started watching Ring of Honor on the regular, that's when I started getting introduced to Briscoes. But it's so crazy, like to think that he took over. Like a lot of people look past that, right? They
yeah,
always look at the tag team stuff, right? Which is incredible. But the man really took over Ring of Honor when WWE really came in and swooped everyone up.
yeah,
You know what I mean? When they took Generico, Steen, and they started just messing with the indies, Jay Briscoe really stepped up in Ring of Honor. Man became one of the best champions that company's ever seen. Putting on matches with Elgin, Styles, Cole, you know what I mean? And like taking over for the next generation of Ring of Honor that was coming up. Even though he was there since day one,
yeah,
it was just like he put the company on his back and like just was fucking putting on bangers. Whether it was
yeah.
tag teams, whether it was singles, you know what I mean? Always been doing his thing.
And,
And then
and yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying that wasn't until the last couple of years that they've had like I wouldn't say a resurgence. I guess I would say a resurgence because Ring of Honor was really like low key when it like the last couple of years. A lot of people weren't watching it. A lot of people weren't paying attention. So
Yeah,
then it wasn't until they started having these matches with FTR, doing GCW shows, running the indies, and putting on bangers and showing everybody like you must have fucking forgot who we were. You know what I mean?
exactly,
And it's
exactly.
so crazy that this this past year was probably one of their biggest years.
I was gonna
And
say
who
like the
knows
thing
what was
this
gonna happen this year because
yeah,
they just had won the Ring of Honor titles.
exactly. I was gonna say like this year was like I think they were entering. I don't want to say their prime. That's not the good word to use, but like they were getting back up there.
Yeah, the resurgence.
The
Yeah,
resurgence, yeah.
it was
So
coming
it's
back
like,
up.
and it was crazy because I've heard about them before. And I think the first time you told me about them was when we were doing the ringside a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
I remember, I think you told me the name, and I'm like, who are the Briscoes? But then, I think this past year in 2022 was when I started to hear about them more. They were doing Impact, independent
Yeah.
shows.
Oh my god, I
Um,
forgot they were Impact champions for a
yeah,
while.
they won the Impact tag belts, and I'm like, oh, who Briscoes? I remember these names. Then they won the House of Glory tag belts, GCW tag belts, the Ring of Honor tag belt, I think twice last year. And it's like they're getting back up there and like being it's showing, like you said, showing why they're the greatest tag team, and they've been
Yeah.
that, and they never really left.
Top 5 dead or alive.
Yeah,
It's crazy. Yo, they were really doing their thing last year. Like, it was great to see because it was like so long that people weren't paying attention to them. So now that people were finally getting a look at them on a proper platform, was awesome.
yeah,
Sucks they were never on AEW, but that's
that's a whole
a
different
whole
story.
nother story.
Yeah,
Which is crazy. Like, they couldn't even do a tribute show because of
I
that.
know, and I'm like, the guy apologized.
Who gives a fuck? Like, that
Exactly.
was years ago. The man's apologized countless times. Like, get over it. It happened. It was a different time. He learned his lesson. That's it.
Yeah,
It's over.
the least they could have done was have like a Rampage special
Yeah.
for him.
But it is cool that they did film a memorial for him, and it
Yeah,
says gonna be free. So I really can't wait till that goes up because
exactly.
I think that's gonna be awesome.
The match card looked cool, so I hope they
Yeah,
were
it's
able to
just
do something.
it's just like a Ring of Honor show, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think it's. I mean, it does feature some AEW stars, but it's like um,
Crossover,
it's
yeah.
crossover. Yeah, yeah, but it's still cool that they're doing that. It's it's
And
also
Tony
kind of
Khan said that the Super Card of Honor is also gonna be remembrance for him. So
they
hopefully they
should
do
make
stuff
that
that
like
too.
a Jay Briscoe or Briscoe related show from now
Yo,
on.
I think this would have been the perfect time for all companies to come together and do a memorial show and like put everybody's beef aside
Yeah,
because this man has ties with every company
literally.
and like
Even
even if you don't
WWE.
think so,
Yeah,
he has ties to it.
even
Yeah, even
WWE.
WWE.
So he has
All
Kevin Owens. Like, literally every single person he told me that was in Ring of Honor from day one. Seth Rollins,
yeah.
everyone, Viking Raiders, everyone was there for at least compete. Almost everyone there competed in Ring of Honor at some point
Yeah, he won
and
the
cross
title
paths.
off of. I always remember that he won the title off of Steen Owens, the weekend of WrestleMania 29 here, and he won it in the Hammerstein because they come to the city to
Yeah,
do a show. So the Super Card was there that year, and that's where he beat Steen. Um, but yeah, like, and then I think even Rollins tweeted like somehow he helped him get a contract to Ring of Honor, which
yeah,
is wild. Like, you never know how people are tied until stories like that come out, and it's like, whoa, like who even knew y'all were tight like that?
yeah. I mean, I kind of figured that because of how long he's been there. I
Yeah,
mean,
and it always seems like he was a cool dude.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like from like interviews that you see of him, like of course on character and stuff, like on camera, he's got to be this character. But
yeah,
like interviews I've seen of him, he seems like just a
down to earth
laid,
type of guy.
yeah, like just chill ass dude.
Yeah, I mean the same thing with
So it makes
like
sense.
there was a social media post I was like resurfacing since Tuesday of like him and his daughter like doing a cheerleading
During
thing.
COVID, yeah,
Yeah, like something like that is really like we don't see stuff like that often. Um, Again, not like because of people's passing, but like we don't know who the real person is sometimes, and
yeah.
sometimes they're like really cool and until you meet them as well.
And the Briscoes tried their best to try and keep like the character alive, keep the gimmick alive, do the
Yeah, they didn't
kayfabe
really
shit. They
put
were like
their
really old school wrestlers,
yeah
so they followed that code.
they don't really put their personal lives out there, and
Yeah, cause
it's cool. It's
yeah,
like
cause even like on Instagram and stuff, they're like they post in character,
yeah,
so it's like
like
you never
I've
really
always
know.
not gonna lie, like I've always thought Briscoes were their last name for real. I didn't know their real names.
Yeah,
Um,
that was like a
that's I know
whole
that's not really like the biggest important thing, but it's like keeping that alive too
yeah,
kind of goes along with
there
that.
was a whole beef like with the original Briscoes, and they were tight because they used it. He was like, I could have at least gotten a phone call.
Yeah,
What do you want the guy to do? They're on the indie scenes. You know what I
exactly.
mean? Like you were not getting a phone call home. You were still in the WWE at the time. not gonna lie, they might have taken over the Briscoe name. Maybe not for old school fans, but like
Yeah,
for the generation of now, if you say the Briscoes, ain't nobody thinking of
the
the
Briscoe
Briscoe from
brothers.
the fucking 70s. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Everybody's gonna be like
yeah,
top five dead or alive. It's be like,
yeah,
yeah, Jay and Mark. You know what I mean? Which is crazy that they really took over that name,
yeah,
even
and
though it has such a legacy, and they
yeah,
just flipped it over and created their own.
yeah, and it's insane too. Like and it's crazy. Like again, this year really, last year was the year that I got introduced, and it's crazy how like how long they've been in Ring of Honor and how long they've been doing this for. They were 12-time tag team champions in Ring of Honor, which is crazy to me.
Yeah,
Um, and it's like, what are they gonna do now? Is also like what are they gonna do with the tag belts? Is what people are trying to figure out.
I
Like, do they
say
do they retire them? Not retire them, but like honor that, I guess, in a way.
I thought of that. I was like, they should really just retire the tag belts and just leave it at that. Have your secondary belt be the three way, whatever, I forgot what they call it, three way,
Six
6 man
man
tag.
trio.
Yeah, just leave that as your primary secondary belt. Like, I think they should just retire the tag belts. I think because the Briscoes have been around for so long, right?
Yeah,
That for them to be your last tag team champions would be like an honor to them
yeah,
just to retire the belts. Or you can always just do like can always do like a Jay Briscoe invitational tournament
yeah.
and the winner gets
A
the
tag team opportunity.
tag titles. I don't know.
I was thinking that too. I think that I don't know if Tony Khan would want to retire the tag belts. Maybe he would. I think that would be a cool idea. And to remember him,
Yeah, like who else has ever retired a title?
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's just
Um,
wild. It's a crazy situation.
it is. It is. And
Did you also see like that Tony Khan has been trying to get them on TV?
yeah, yeah, they've been
Like
trying to.
I didn't know that they were supposed to be in that 6 man tag at All Out.
I didn't know that. Wait,
Yeah,
what?
the match with the Motor City Machine Guns.
Oh, they
It
really? I
only
didn't know.
became the Motor City Machine Guns because Warner Media didn't want Briscoes on TV.
Who was in that match again? It was Kazarian and Briscoes, I think,
I can't
versus two.
remember. I can't remember right now.
Yeah,
Let's
but
look it
I
up.
remember what tag match. I think it was FTR. It was FTR and Wardlow versus Morning City
Yes,
Machine
and
Guns and somebody else.
yes, because they Machine Guns and who?
I forgot. I forgot who, but it was definitely against FTR and Wardlow.
I know that's who they were fighting, but who
Yeah.
were they tagging with?
Um. Let me check. I don't know why my gut said Kazarian because I think they were. Hold on.
Jay Lethal.
Jay Lethal. Yes,
Oh,
Jay
so
Lethal.
yes, yes, it was supposed to be Jay Lethal and the Briscoes
Yeah, that made sense.
because it was supposed to be like old school versus school because like Jay Lethal's been around since I think day one of Ring of Honor too, so it was supposed to
Yeah.
be like that kind of storyline, which would have been cool, but they didn't want them on TV. So Tony Khan was like, how am I supposed to promote this match if I can't show them on TV?"
Yeah.
Which makes perfect sense. But I think for the Briscoes, you didn't really need to show them.
They could have
Could have
because
just
they
said their
always
name,
yeah.
and I think people would have been hyped for the match.
And the thing is too is like I think their work on social media, all their promos have been on social media because I know these other companies they wrestle for don't usually have
Yeah,
TV, but I think they do that well. They used to do like promote their own matches on social media, and
which
that
was
got
awesome.
over.
Yeah,
Yeah, like that. I think that's all. Like not say all they posted, but that's what I've seen a lot from them is their promos on social media,
yeah,
which got me excited for a match, even though I don't know who they were fighting. It was like I still wanted to see it because they were that
exactly.
good at cutting promos.
They would
That
always,
could have worked too.
yeah, they would always post the poster of the show and then post a promo just
Yeah,
to let you know, yo, this is where we're gonna be. This is what is happening.
yeah,
But yeah, they could have really done something like that. But I get it. You don't want make the people that have you on TV mad.
Yeah.
People were like, "Oh, he should have." I don't, you know what I mean? You don't know the pull he has or anybody has. They might have just been like, "Yo, if you put them on TV, we're pulling the plug." And
Yeah.
then he was like, "Ah, yeah, sorry guys, we'll have to go
Yeah.
with machine guns."
I mean, that's this is still again like I still can't believe this happened.
Yeah,
Um, again, it was, like it's just unexpected. Just I didn't even. It is still a shock. Like it just came out of nowhere.
yeah.
Like all of a sudden, the tweet that Tony Khan put out, I was like, this can't be real, right? Like this can't be real. But you
Does
know,
Mark? You think Mark retires?
me, I don't know. Maybe because I think
Cause like he
when I
had a
was,
single run, but like he just did these past 2 or 3 years of just killing it with his brother. Do
I
you want
think
to do it
he,
again? You know what I mean? Do you
yeah,
want to step in that life again?
exactly. Because I see that point because like you wouldn't want to wrestle without your brother that you've been teaming with the entire life, your
Yeah.
entire career.
And like I've said, he's had single runs, but like
Yeah,
these past couple years has been straight tag team. I think I think during COVID they had that one they were feuding. Did you ever watch that? They did like a cinematic match, which was really dope.
I didn't see
It
that.
was them two in their barn, um,
Okay,
with their father as a guest referee. In like a
what was it
fucking
for? Like what
dingy
promo?
ass ring. It was for Ring of Honor.
Oh,
And
really?
this busted ass ring, yeah. It was pretty cool. It was one it was a real entertaining cinematic match. Cause it wasn't like really cinematic. It was just happening at home. Like it wasn't like
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
cuts and transitions and shit like this. It was just them fighting in their form. But it
Was that
was
like their
like,
first time that they've like, feuded with each other, or was it like when Jay was world champion? I know he was world champion, but like was that the
yeah,
first time they?
they've always feuded throughout their career, just simultaneously, like just out of nowhere they would go on singles runs and then feud with each other.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, they always had dope ass matches too. I guess it makes sense because they have that chemistry with each
Hmm.
other that they've been wrestling with each other all their lives as a tag team, right?
Yeah.
But when you're not at a show or booked and you have to practice and go to school, like wrestling school and shit, that was probably his go to person to
Mhm.
practice with. So you know how many matches they've done growing up together?
Yeah.
So them putting on a show when they go one on one is like ridiculous because it's like they know each other so well that the matches are always dope as hell.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean that is a good question of whether or not like Mark goes by himself or retires. I mean, it's whatever he feels comfortable doing, you know?
Yeah.
If he feels comfortable doing it by himself and maybe he wants to do like one more year,
Yeah, if he's like,
just
let me do one more run.
yeah, and then just do it like each match he just wants to just do it for Jay, or maybe he just feels like out of respect he doesn't want to wrestle anymore
Yeah.
because of Jay. Um, then whatever he wants to do. I mean, I would love to see him continue wrestling, but it's at the end of the day, it's his brother that passed away. We can't tell him what to do as a
Exactly.
fan. Um,
It's always on both ends of the spectrum. It's like,
yeah,
it's dope if you come back. It's dope if you walk away.
yeah,
We all
like you,
understand. It's
yeah,
like
it's
the
we,
situation was,
not what he hoped to happen.
yeah, just out of nowhere.
Yeah, but yeah,
But yeah, shout out to Briscoes, man. And yo, to be honest, like when Jay Briscoe was having his title run, like I know of course you weren't watching at the time, but I think at that moment I was really into Ring of Honor. Like Jay Briscoe and Adam Cole were my guys. So like them putting on matches and putting on these unbelievable like street fights and shit like that, like was really a dope time in wrestling because it was just like the it was kind of like the new generation of Ring of Honor when they got cleaned up and it was like, I who's gonna take who's gonna take the ball and run with it, right?
yeah,
Who's gonna try and take us to the promised land, and then those two took it. But also, of course, it was a whole stacked roster. But I think out of everybody, they were like the two shining stars of that time. And then
yeah,
of course you had like guys come in and out like like AJ that came for like a couple months and dipped again. Samoa Joe after he didn't re-sign with TNA was like in Ring of Honor for like 5 or 6 months and then got signed. You know what I mean? So it was
Yeah,
like just a time that was like, who's gonna keep the company afloat? And they really put the rock on him because they even gave him his own custom belt.
really.
Yeah, they gave him his own custom belt, which a lot of people like. But it's like, if you look back at it, like it wasn't used in that way. It was just what they used because they were from the country. They always used the redneck, like the oh man, the Confederate flag,
Yeah,
and they would wear the bandanas. They had it on the belt, and like a lot of people had no problem with that at the time. But now look back at it, it's like, oh, he should not have that. It's like,
yeah,
fuck yourself. Like that was his character. It wasn't like he was saying crazy shit. It was where they grew up. That was the flag that they represented. I
yeah.
guess I don't fucking know, but yeah, he had his own custom belt, which was dope as hell. Which
But
at the time nobody on Ring of Honor had to. Then Matt Hardy came out with his own. It was just like a
yeah,
random time in Ring of Honor that was like actually a pretty entertaining time.
I think they should do something not like the exact same belt, but something like a custom belt, if anything, for Jay. You know, like maybe they made the tag titles custom, like an honor for the Briscoes. You know what I mean? They include
That
his
would be
name on
dope.
the belt, so that way he's like, this is Jay Briscoe, the Briscoes, or like part. You know how they do like name? I don't know. I know Ring of Honor doesn't do this
Like
with
on the plates on
nameplates.
the side.
Yeah, maybe they get a custom like different belts with those nameplates on the sides that says like them boys or something.
Yeah, maybe you put like the best Ring of Honor tag teams just on the belt and just
Or they make them
like
like
you
the logo or something. Like not the Ring of Honor logo, but the tag team.
tag
Like
team logo. That
yeah.
would be kind of fire. Not gonna lie. Do
I think
something.
yeah.
Do something just to show
It's
like
like
love to them. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, of course we
Exactly.
know that they get love everywhere. Like you saw
Yeah.
when it happened, everyone was posting about it.
WWE
Even
even mentioned it multiple times this week,
yeah,
which is
which
cool.
would have never thought I would see that happen. But then like WWE did try to sign them.
Yeah.
I remember when that happened too because I was like,
How
I
long
don't
ago
know
was
if
that?
they work. I was like, I don't know if they work. I
Like
think
how
that
long ago was
was
that?
recently.
Recently. I thought
I
I was like
believe I believe it was recently.
I thought it was like prime NXT days. Maybe.
I'm not sure to be honest,
'Cause I
because
remember their names
I always
popping
heard
up
the
multiple
rumblings.
times.
I always heard the rumblings when Ring of Honor was bought by Tony Khan, and I was like, oh, the Briscoes contract was done anyway. So I was like, and then once they took the belts off of them, the rumors began to flow even more, because then it was like, oh, they're out. Like Warner Media doesn't want them. Will WWE
Yeah.
try to sign them? WWE's interested, but they probably try to sign them back in the day too. I
Yeah.
wouldn't doubt it because they like I don't remember a period that they were low key. I think it was only the ending of Ring of Honor, and that was just because it wasn't them. Ring of Honor was just struggling. They was still putting on matches.
Yeah.
It was just Ring of Honor was struggling at the time, so it was like couldn't really do nothing
Yeah. I mean,
to
I
like
still like I
step out.
remember just like the highlights I've seen of the Briscoes too was like I even from then till now, I feel like they never missed a beat.
Yeah, never.
That's the crazy part. They were they were still known and very big at that time and even now.
And what's crazy is that like if you watch matches, you can only tell the difference of like when it was happening between like what they look
Yeah,
like with their hair, because those dudes didn't age.
exactly.
They've looked the same for the past 10 years.
It's just they grew the
So
hair out.
you could either be like Jay Briscoe with dreads or just a buzz cut. Then you'll be
Yeah,
like, okay, that was like the beginning age, or you know what I mean, or
yeah,
Mark Briscoe with the just the crazy ass hair, the crazy beard. Be like, okay, that was like 2015, 2014. And it was just like that's the only way you could tell like when shit was happening for them. Because if you just watch a whole bunch of matches in a row, you wouldn't be able to be like, oh yeah, you could tell they're getting older there. It was just
yeah,
not a thing.
yeah. And it's crazy. Like That's what I said before. It's like I think they're still they're gonna pop off. They're gonna pop off this year because if they still wrestle just as good as they were 20 years ago, only I can only imagine what they could do within the next few years together.
Yeah,
It's just the
they
only
would.
problem was the whole Warner Media thing with AEW is like, would that be a possibility if Warner Media and Tony Khan get on the same page? You know,
I
in
think they
terms of
would
bringing
have.
them on.
I think they would have had no problem if it was on Ring of Honor.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like once Ring of Honor would have gotten a TV deal, I think they would have been the face of the tag division. Of course, they were the champions.
yeah,
But I think even if they would lose the champions, they would be kind of like
the face still.
the Young Bucks. That's like, all right, but like everyone that wants to get to the title still has to go through that, even though they
Exactly.
don't even hold the titles. But you still
Yeah,
got to go through the Bucks. You know what I mean? So Ring of Honor would have been the same way. All right, the Briscoes aren't the champions anymore, but you still got to go through them to get to the titles. They would have just been that tag team.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
so crazy and such a loss. It's like
It's
straight
just
trash, man.
I know. It's just I guess again I still can't believe that it happened. Um,
Yeah,
I hope their family is doing well. I hope
yeah.
they're getting through it well.
I hope everything's going better for them.
Yeah, I know that his daughter was in surgery recently. I hope she's feeling better
Yeah,
or got through
hopefully.
it.
Yeah, they're going through a lot. And I
Just
figured that too. Like when I saw like the time that it happened, I said he was definitely with his kids.
and the thing is too, what's even sadder is that it happened the day before Mark's birthday.
I peeped that. And his birthday's not too far away either.
I think it's this week.
How old was he? 38, right?
38. I think he was turning 39 or turning 38, but he was around 38.
That's so crazy.
That is.
Do
It's
you
so sad.
think? I know this is. It's not off topic, but pretty off topic, but not really. Did you see that FTR is taking a break?
Yeah,
Do you think this has something to do with it?
maybe. I
That they're
mean,
like, yo,
again,
let's
they were
take a breather. Like all this shit just happened.
yeah, I think that's what it is. I mean, I think they wanted their contracts up with AEW. Um, but I think with that tying in with Jay Briscoe's death, I think they wanted to take time off and just like focus on themselves, be with family more,
Yeah,
probably.
that's how I looked at it. I was like,
Yeah.
this definitely played a role into it, and
And I get that. I mean,
they
like,
just spent the last year with them. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like,
they were close
like
with them.
putting on the best, the best tag trilogy we've had, and
Yeah,
that's not shitting
all
on
three
any other tag
matches.
team. It's just that trilogy was fucking something else.
And I don't think, in terms of like recent years, because I really go back that far back, but within, I don't think anything can top that three match trilogy they had.
No.
I don't think two other tag teams coming up can do that. Maybe yes, I'm saying that I'm not saying that all the tag teams are not that good,
Oh no, yeah.
but that trilogy, it
Right
was something
now,
else.
they hold the title for best tag trilogy,
Yeah,
and that
yeah,
goes from, and I won't say like all the way back in the fucking day. I'll say from when I've been watching,
yeah,
cause even like, and I grew up on like the Hardys, Dudleys, and Edge and Christian, but like not all their matches were ridiculous. You know what I mean? Not all
yeah,
their matches were good. I'll be straight up. There was some duds in there, but like to have only 3 matches for all of them to go the way they did from start to finish, fireworks.
yeah,
You just can't ask for more. They were like the perfect pairing. It's kind of like, which is crazy. It took them all those years to find like like the perfect opponent.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like as a tag team, like they probably have had some in the past, but like nobody has really like matched up with them like the like FTR
yeah.
did.
And as great as that trilogy was, and it couldn't have gone any other way, that was also kind of like the feud I kind of expected with FTR and the Young Bucks when they first
Yeah,
went head to head.
yeah,
And again, I'm glad that the Briscoes were able to do that. I'm not discrediting any of that. I'm not taking that whole thing away because it was perfect. That's what got me into watching the Briscoes now. Because
yeah,
again, I wasn't a fan of, like, I was saying I wasn't a fan, just never really seen them that much.
yeah. I feel like that those matches, those guys made you a fan of everybody in the ring.
Yeah,
Whether you didn't like FTR but liked the Briscoes, FTR showed you, yo, we're here. You know what I mean? You were like, oh
yeah,
shit, FTR is wilding. And then like you watching the Briscoes and like, whoa, this team is this team is crazy. Like,
yeah.
and just becoming a fan is so crazy that, like I said, it took them that long to find the perfect pairing, but they
Hmm.
found it. Thank goodness we got those matches, man.
Exactly.
Like,
It's-
sad news, but like, if you want to look at it on a positive note, you couldn't go out on a better year. You
mm.
know, like he really gave us like a his last year was like a year to remember.
And
Maybe
I
even
think,
last 2 or 3.
yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. And you can't say that they were in their primes. They had a great run as a tag team. Their tag team could have,
Yeah, they've had different pairings. I don't even know
yeah,
what you would call their prime.
but
Some people
like,
might call this their prime just
yeah,
because of the reaction that they're getting from everybody online. Not now, but like when the shows were happening, like GCW fans loved them.
yeah.
HOG fans loved them. Everywhere they went, people loved them.
Like
And for a simple
imagine,
fact of them putting on great shows and being dope ass dudes. Like,
yeah, like imagine if like this would have happened like last year before their run, and it was like I'm not wishing that happened at all. I kind of wish this none of this would have happened, but
yeah,
it's like he had a great last year.
yeah,
He ended off with a great feud with FTR. He, like I said, his career and what they have accomplished together. I think that was enough for what they were able to do together.
yeah,
And as much as I wanted to see them wrestle together more often, they accomplished a lot. They accomplished a lot,
1000%.
and they they were in the Hall of Fame, the Ring of Honor Hall of Fame.
They're
Um,
definitely going into the Independent Hall of Fame this
oh, for
because I
sure,
saw GCW's doing that
during
at
Mania week,
yeah during Mania weekend, so they're definitely getting that. Both of them, like
and they deserve a lot of honor for what they've done together. So
most definitely.
I think again, it was cool how a lot of companies were honoring him this week, and that's how it should be.
Yeah,
Because they were, even though they've only done a lot outside of AEW and WWE and Impact, they've done a lot.
yeah,
And like you said before, they've impacted a lot of current wrestlers in all companies. Literally, a lot, like all three big companies impact AEW, WWE, even GCW. They've impacted a lot of people who work in all those companies.
yeah.
And it's crazy to
They
think
were
that they touched so many people, and it's insane.
yeah they were even with DDT at a time. They were with New Japan at a time.
Yeah.
They were everywhere, like just wilding. And like you said, I think this was a good way to like not go out, but like this was a good last year for them, for
Hmm.
him. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he really solidified that they're top 5, and
Yeah.
there's no argument. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because everybody wanted to argue and be like, "Oh, who's in their top 5?" Da 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 da. If you just look at the catalog of the last year of the matches they've had, and watch them and see the shows that they put on, not only on pay per views, but on the indie scene, in Impact, GCW, HOG, all those
Yeah.
companies, you can't deny it that they're top 5.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
It's
like,
insane.
it's just, they just, not saying that they weren't in it before this year, but this year they solidified it. Like, they cemented it and they were like, yo, checkmate. Like,
Yeah.
what up? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
who's gonna top us? Like,
Exactly.
kind of like that, which is just like so dope that we got to see that run
Exactly. Exactly.
because they were straight Ring of Honor at the time. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? They weren't nowhere else. So for
Yeah.
them to be Ring of Honor champs, for them to be Impact champs, who would have thought that would happen?
Exactly.
For
I
them
know.
to be GCW champs, for them to work random ass indie shows in like Boston, Florida, like
Yeah.
just showing up everywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. I think they were just trying to get in their last run together. Um, not like I think they were planning. In my opinion, I think they were like, nearing the end of their career, anyways. But
I could see that they were about both hit 40. I could see
yeah,
that because
they
even
probably wanted to
FTR
be
said
family
that he
men
was
more.
like, I don't see myself doing this in 5 years, which is
Yeah,
wild. But
yeah,
I didn't notice he's 38.
exactly.
Dax, like I didn't notice that, so it's like, wow, yeah, I understand.
Yeah,
Not
yeah,
everybody's built to. Well, he could probably do it, just probably doesn't want to.
exactly.
I don't blame
Yeah,
him. If you don't need
yeah.
to, why do it?
I mean, especially with the career they've had, they don't need to prove anything else. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
I
They've already
think,
proven everything.
yeah, and I think the Briscoes helped them solidify themselves too,
Yeah, they
and
brought
they
out the
helped the
best in them.
Briscoes. Yeah, they
Yeah,
brought out the best of each other, and I think that's all we wanted as fans when we saw this first match announced.
yeah,
And then when it was announced the second time, it was like, let's fucking go.
yeah. And the
And then
third
the
time,
third
even
time
better.
we
Yeah,
said, let's do it. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like there wasn't one time that I was like, nah, let's not do this. Every
Yeah.
time people were more excited for the next match.
And I remember all the hype that was going around this feud. I remember last year's SuperCon of Honor. It was like, or was it Final Battle the 2021, I believe, when they showed up.
When they showed up,
Yeah,
and it was,
it was like, damn, this is
oh,
actually happening.
yeah, it was
And
like, no
then
way, this is gonna finally happen.
and then a year later, 3 matches, banger after banger after banger, and they delivered every single time. And I've watched all three of them, and that's
Yeah,
insane. I didn't think I was gonna watch them, but I watched them, and I thank God I did
no, yeah,
because they were perfect.
I'm telling you, man, it was just perfect with them two, with
Yeah,
those two tag teams, putting them in a ring together. You couldn't do no wrong. Just like, thank you, Jay Briscoe.
yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you
thank
to
you,
the
the Briscoe
Briscoes.
brothers.
Yeah,
Yeah, shout out to
both of them.
both of them. Like
Exactly. I
I
hope.
know a lot. Like even like throughout his career, I've noticed Mark never got a lot of love. Like, cause there's always in the brothers. You've seen it. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
in wrestling, there's always one that is more on top than the other. But I think he just took a backseat and was fine with his position
yeah.
and was just having. And there's not a bad Mark Briscoe match out there.
Hmm.
They're all
I
entertaining.
wouldn't be surprised if there
Red,
wasn't. You know what I mean?
like Redneck Kung Fu. Like, come on.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, there's
yeah,
so much stuff that like he's done again. Like Jay, whether it was tag team, singles, like killing it. It's
yeah.
just shout out to the Briscoes, man.
Yeah,
They should
I hope
definitely independent Hall of Fame
for
should
sure,
put the Briscoes in this year.
and
It
I hope
just makes sense.
exactly, exactly. And I hope Ring of Honor does a special for Jay, whether it's a show, tournament, honoring a belt of some sort.
Yeah,
I feel like they have to like honor him some way just for what he has done with the company and what he's meant to wrestling, especially tag team wrestling over the past however long they've been wrestling for,
yeah,
because they deserve that respect. They've always deserved it. Like you said, Mark has always deserved. He deserves a lot of love too. Um, I hope his family. We keep them in our thoughts and prayers for everything that they've you know been going through the last week.
definitely.
So I just hope they all feel better and get through with it, and you know, Jay Briscoe won't be forgotten.
Yeah,
He's had an amazing career, him and his brother, and yeah, I just hope everything with his family gets better.
most definitely. I also hope that happens too. I hope they do like a little tribute show.
Yeah,
I know they're doing the Ring of Honor one, but like the one that they just taped, but like actual like
pay per
proper
view.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah, like I think they deserve. I think he deserves that.
yeah,
And I think like I said before, I forgot who I saw tweet about it. I think it was the Blue Meanie that he said this is the time that all companies should come together.
yeah. I
Because I
saw that.
think he brought up the Brian Pillman Memorial Show, where they
Yeah,
had guys from every company, and they coexisted. Like, just let
yeah.
it happen. That'd be cool as hell. You know what I mean? Like, just for one night, where everybody could just put their guard down and be like, "Yo, we're having this show to
You're
show
invited.
tribute." Yeah,
Yeah,
like not doing beef on who goes over, who's winning, who's losing.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like,
Like
So that
I think Triple H can do that with for one night with some former Ring of Honor
and you
guys
don't even
for one
need the
night.
guys to go up against each other. You could have guys from each company go up against each
Yeah,
other. You
like
know what I
Kevin
mean?
Owens versus
We don't
Seth
need,
Rollins. You
yeah,
know,
we don't need a Claudio versus Rollins or
yeah,
Owens versus
Adam Cole.
Kingston or some shit
Yeah,
like that. Nah, just do like in promotion, just different matches on the same card from different companies. You don't even
exactly,
have to touch each other. You know what I mean?
exactly.
Like it's very simple. Like it'll be a dope tribute to the guy,
Especially
especially
since
the
this.
impact that he's had and
Yeah,
the way that guys talk about him. Like he deserves it.
yeah, and especially since this past Wednesday, I know that was kind of like last minute to do, but it's like they have, they still have time to put on another one and say, hey, this is what we're doing for Jay Briscoe, a full like pay per view, or not even pay per view, it could be free, just a bigger card that we're doing,
Yeah,
somewhere on a bigger streaming platform than YouTube that everyone can watch and be like, hey, we're just doing this more now. We have more time to plan it out, and do all that and just make maybe Super Card of Honor. It's 2 nights. The first night is for Jay Briscoe. Second night is the actual Super Card of Honor card.
yeah, that would be
Um,
dope.
so that way they can plan it out more and just do that instead. But he
Yeah,
does deserve it. He does
yeah,
deserve
because
it.
this one you really had to just throw together.
Yeah,
They didn't let Cole fight. I heard because you want to keep him for AEW, the big return.
exactly.
You couldn't have the Bucks on it because they fought on Dynamite. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that was too many factors that I didn't even see what the card looked like. I just know Kingston's fighting because I saw the
I
video
know
of him, but
Claudio
I
and
don't know.
Daniels for the Ring of
Okay,
Honor title is the main event, I believe.
nice. That's kind of
Yeah,
dope. Christopher
that's it.
Daniels.
That's all I remember from the card too. I don't remember much of the card, but they just put it on.
Okay. Yeah, I can't wait for that to put up. Hopefully, there they'll do like a proper like tribute video to him
Yeah.
that Warner Media didn't let them fucking put up.
Exactly. I mean,
But
they could still use the Honor Club to put something together.
exactly, yo, shout out to GCW. Like all those little, all I was about to say little promotions, all the
They're not.
indie promotions that like had him with them. Everybody did like a little tribute video, which like
Yeah. Yeah.
pretty dope,
Even
man. Everybody's showing the
yeah.
respect for him and showing the love.
Even with WWE last night with the armbands that
Yes,
Viking Raiders wore,
yeah,
and I think Kevin Owens wore it too. So to see that, it's just how close, how impactful it is, like you said, for every company, not just Ring of Honor.
yeah,
So that's pretty cool.
exactly.
So yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, man. Shout out to the Briscoes. Shout out to Jay Briscoe's family. Hopefully
exactly.
everything gets better.
Yeah,
Praying for them.
same.
Show and sending love, man.
Yeah, yeah. I hope everything gets better with their family, and I hope their daughter's getting well too,
Yeah,
and
facts.
the entire family. Just we're keeping them in our thoughts and prayers. Um, yeah, we just wanted to take this episode to just remember Jay Briscoe. Um, we had different topics, but we just wanted to not just take this time to talk about Jay Briscoe only and his impact in wrestling. So,
He deserves it.
um, yeah, because we never really done this before. I mean, we haven't really done a remembering episode, but this one we could not do. So yeah, this is the remembering of Jay Briscoe episode, and we'll catch you guys next time. I'm Nick and Joel, and we'll see you next time.
Catch him.